You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports, and I want to welcome in our live audience, not just on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, but also our Dallas Cowboys Report YouTube channel. Harrison, let's talk about some news here because Sean Payton, he has the big C.
Yeah, and we'll get into some free agency stuff momentarily for you guys watching live, so don't worry about that. We got winners and losers later on as well, but we wanted to hit this off the top. Sean Payton, the first notable person to get the big C, at least in the NFL. Obviously,
Correct.
A bunch of people have them have it globally, but Sean Payton does have it, and just another notable person that has come down with this issue that has been going around the United States of America and the entire world.
So we're not allowed to say what that word is because YouTube doesn't think that y'all can handle it. So anytime that we talk about the big C, I want everyone to type the letter C. So how about this, okay? We're trying to stop the spread, but we're trying to get everyone to type W if you washed your hands
We're
today.
off to a good start
Off
here.
to a really hot start here on NFL Daily. So if you've washed your hands today, please, please, please type W. And if you haven't, get up, go to the sink, maybe get some hand sanitizer, figure out a way that you can wash your hands. Have you washed your hands today, Harrison?
I have about 7 times, and it's probably not enough, so I'm spamming my W in the comments section.
My skin is actually starting to, curl.
It's a little dry.
Oh, my gosh. It's so
Did you
bad
go swimming
right now.
today?
Basically, with the amount of wet wipes we have around the Chat Sports office, we're trying to stay clean. And also remember that we're going to continue to be bringing you guys a whole bunch of coverage because we are washing our hands, and the big C is not going to slow us down. So I see some people in there. We got Kevin Otto, Yeet Master, Mr. Pickles. Appreciate everyone who is watching the show, and continue to type your W if you've washed your hands. I want to welcome in Chat Sports audience here, and we have a lot of new subscribers. And if you're new to the show, appreciate you. What we do here, a lot of NFL news and rumors. We do live and interactive shows. If this is the first time that you've watched what we've done, I want you to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you know every single time we drop a video. Let's get right into it here, Harrison. Really weird way to say that. Todd Gurley, he's been released.
Yeah, and this is kind of dropped in the past hour or so, and there was chatter of this earlier in the week. Could the Rams find a trade partner for him?
I talked about it about 5 hours ago on NFL Daily.
Yeah, that became a clear no because his contract was just too brutal to move. So the Rams have cut him. LA could not find a trade partner. Obviously, he's had a nice young career, but past couple of years hasn't been as good. He's dealt with knee problems back into the 2018 season. Obviously, last year, you could tell he wasn't the same player. So the Rams have moved on. They have to eat over $20 million in dead cap money over the next 2 years, but they did save about $10 million by cutting him before today's deadline. Otherwise, a lot of that money would have become guaranteed.
I will say this, though. Todd Gurley, he tweeted out, man, I can't believe I got fired on an off day. I mean, not too often do you get fired and basically put an extra $20 million in your pocket. So, Todd Gurley, I know you've been falling off a little bit, but I'll say this. Back in 2017, back in 2018, he was one of the most fun and entertaining running backs in the entire league. So I'm really, really curious on where he's going to be playing football this upcoming season. So we have here some destinations, and you tomorrow, Harrison, I believe, are going to drop the top destinations for Todd Gurley. You're going to rank them.
I was going to say, this is the 5 we have so far. It could be subject to change depending on what happens between tonight and tomorrow, but be looking out on the channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv, especially for you newbies who aren't familiar with what we do. We're going to do our top 5 Todd Gurley destinations. I'll probably be doing that video, so be on the lookout for that sometime tomorrow. For now, Bucks. Tom Brady, people want to play with him. They need a running back. That makes some sense. The Dolphins, who have been willing to spend big, they also signed Jordan Howard. Maybe that's a 1-2 punch. Bills, Broncos, Colts, some secondary options that we have so far, Mitch. Those are some teams that make sense. Maybe a couple of others get into the mix, but certainly there will be a market for Todd Gurley.
If you guys want a Todd Gurley jersey, chatsports.com/jersey deal. You can see it below. All right, I got a question. And for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. So you might get with an ad break. While the ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down, and I want you to comment where you think Todd Gurley is going to play in 2020. Let's go now into Clay Matthews because the Rams, they've been pretty busy today, and they released him after just 1 season.
Yeah, release Gurley, release Matthews. Matthews still had 8 sacks last year, so he still is productive. I'll be curious to see what his market looks like. I do think he'll be a cheapish option. Can someone get him for $5 or $6 million? Maybe. Pete Carroll coached him at USC. He likes him.
If there's a destination, he is going to end up maybe going to the Seahawks, help out that defense, pair back up with Pete Carroll. You could also even see him go back to Green Bay.
They let Clowney go. Or maybe they let Clowney go and opt for the cheaper option in Clay Matthews, who had 5 more sacks than Clowney did in 2019.
We're not comparing Clay Matthews with Javion Clowney.
The stats are the stats. That's all I'm saying. The last 4 years, obviously 8 sacks this past year, kind of a resurgence. Had 7.5 back in 2017. Certainly not the all-pro guy that used to fly around back during his peak years in Green Bay, but still a productive guy, I think.
Totally agree there, Harrison. All right, we're going to go in now to Darius Slay, because this one went down this morning. I saw it break, and I was like, oh, no, where's he going? He's going to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 3rd and 5th round pick. Big play Slay. He won it out of Detroit. Now he's going to go to the Eagles, and I like it. I like the move.
Well, not only did he want out, Mitch, he wanted a new deal to go with it, and that's what he gets. 3 years, $50 million from Philadelphia. It's a good move. 3rd and a 5th is not a lot to give up for.
I was pretty surprised that that's all it costs
for a true number 1. It's not like he's that old. I mean, he's still got 3, 4, 5 good years left, in my opinion. This is probably the most significant move in the NFC East so far. Because, Dallas brought back Amari Cooper and some other things, but in terms of a big
some other things, Dak Prescott.
a new big piece into that division, I think the Darius Slay trade is pretty significant.
I agree, and I mean the numbers there. I mean, you don't get 26 pass breakups in a year if you're not.
Man.
The reason why they call him Big Play Slay is because the dude, he makes some big plays. So if you haven't seen the details of the trade, this is what it looks like on screen. So the Eagles, they get Darius Slay. Remember, they're also paying him 3 years, $50 million. The Lions, they receive a 2020 3rd-round pick and a 2020 5th-round pick. So we're going to ask our audience here, who won the Slay trade? If you think it was the Lions, I want you to type L. If you think it was the Eagles, I want you to type E. Harrison, who do you think won?
It's the Eagles, and I think our viewers will agree with us. I've seen mostly E's in there. A couple of L's coming in, perhaps some Lions fans. Look, you get a number 1 corner and you don't give up a 1st or 2nd round pick, you win the trade. That's just my opinion. I think this is good value on the Eagles side of things. Detroit was kind of hamstrung because Slay made it clear he wanted out, which lowers a player's value. We see that all the time. So I think they just said, screw it, we just got to pull the trigger on this thing. It's better to get something for him than to play out 2020 and get nothing for him next offseason.
I'm also going to type my E for Eagles, and I grew up in central Pennsylvania, and a lot of my friends, they were like, Mitch, do you know anywhere I can get an NFL jersey? Get a Darius Slay? Unfortunately, it's not quite available yet, but if you do want to get your favorite team, if you want to get your favorite player, you can go to chatsports.com/jersey deal. Harrison and I, we found some awesome Nike NFL jerseys for under $80. So for some reason, if you don't remember that the way you get one of these bad boys is by going to chatsports.com/jersey deal, we'll put it in the comments. We'll put it in the description below. Shout out your favorite player. Shout out your favorite team. Make sure that you're repping them. Do you need a new jersey?
I might.
You might.
I didn't, but then I saw this deal, so I might have to cop a couple of these. Chatsports.com/jersey deal.
All right, let's go now to the Arizona Cardinals here because they're making moves. They've been really busy, and now they're adding a linebacker, Devondre Campbell.
Yeah, this is a bit of an overpay, 1 year, $8.5 million, but you got to respect what the Cardinals have done. He's productive, 90-plus tackles in 3 straight seasons. They've been very busy in free agency, Mitch.
Good. They should be.
They've added a lot of pieces. The NFC West is going to be loaded. I can't wait to watch this team in that division this season. 129 tackles last year, a couple of sacks, forced fumbles, a couple of picks, too, from the linebacker position. So good production there from Campbell. Maybe they spent a little much on him, but it's only 1 year. They had the money to do it. So I like what Arizona has done throughout free agency.
Let's now go to the Denver Broncos because they did something that I liked. If you watch the show, you'll know that I'm not the biggest Joe Flacco fan, and they released the veteran quarterback, and I almost laughed because Adam Schefter, when he tweeted this out, people still refer to Joe Flacco as the Super Bowl MVP. That was back in 2012. I was a sophomore in college, for goodness sake.
I mean, it's true, though.
It is true.
He is a Super Bowl MVP. It just hasn't happened.
Really elite.
And he's not elite anymore. Obviously, Drew Lock's the guy there. I wonder what Flacco's future is. I mean,
I wouldn't want him as a quarterback on my team. He's going to have to be a backup.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with Flacco, the reason why I don't like him, is not only is his head too big in like reality, but it's actually too big. Like,
yeah, he's got attitude problems.
He thinks he's this unbelievable player.
He didn't handle the demotion in Baltimore well when Lamar Jackson took that job. He didn't have a great attitude last year, when he got injured and Drew Lock took the job. He's not a starting caliber player anymore. And I'm with you. If I have a young quarterback, yeah, it's nice to learn from a veteran. I don't think Joe Flacco's the guy though you bring in to do that.
Totally agree. So right now, I think of, let's say, 2 notable quarterbacks on free agent market. So we're going to play a game here, okay? Who's the better quarterback? Type F for Joe Flacco or type W for Jameis Winston. Now, Flacco, he doesn't throw nearly the amount of interceptions as Winston. However, I do think Winston has a little bit more talent. For me, I'm going to type my W.
Well, and especially at this point in their careers, right? I mean, Flacco's clearly beyond his prime. Jameis Winston, say what you want about him. He's still a young player. I think he still has a lot of upside. So I think W is clearly the answer, and I think our viewers agree. Lots of W's flying in. So keep those votes coming in here in the comments section.
All right, we got a special goal for you, and we have a special challenge as well. So our boss has said, if Harrison and I get 200 new subscribers, we get a raise. So I'm asking for help here, okay? We got 1,000 people watching. 1,000 people watching, and we need to get to 200 new subscribers by the end of this live show. So if this is the first time that you've seen the show, just go ahead, scroll on down, and click subscribe. I see some super chats coming in.
We already got 6 new subs already.
6 new subs.
16 new subs.
There we go. Click that subscribe button. Help us out a little bit. You help us out. Maybe Harrison and I, we can go back and wet the whistle as well. Venmo is also at MitchellRens365. Seriously, though, click the sub, turn on the notifications. We're going to be keeping you up to date as possible. The Big C, it ain't slowing us down. Now let's go to the Los Angeles Rams because maybe we're just talking about them today. Jared Goff getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, he already got paid, but he's getting paid more because he has a big roster bonus coming in, $21 million. My favorite stat, I don't even know if stat's the right word, my favorite thing about any NFL contract right now is Jared Goff's dead cap hit for if he were to get cut, $94 million. That's like half of the NFL salary cap.
That's insane. Imagine not being very good at your position and having a $94 million dead cap hit in 2020.
I don't think he's as bad as like you and Tom think, but he's definitely overpaid.
He's not top 10.
No,
Jared Goff isn't a top 10.
He's not a top 10 quarterback.
Is he a top 15 quarterback?
Yeah, he's top 15.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He was really good 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. That's because he had Todd Gurley rushing for 17 touchdowns. But like when you're going out there, you're paying a quarterback this much money, you need to see a little bit more production, in my opinion.
Yeah.
However, the $94 million cap hit, that was the real story here. So we're going to ask you guys this question. Is Jared Goff the most overpaid quarterback in the NFL? We want you to type Y for yes, or we want you to type N for no.
I think it's yes. Even though I just defended him a little bit, I do think he is probably the most
Rob
overpaid.
says he's a top 20 quarterback. A lot of Ys. There is a lot of Ys in the comment section, and I don't blame you. I think when you look at what he's done, he's also had, I think, a lot of help. I mean, they've had a great defense. They've had an amazing running game, incredible receivers.
Well, Sean McVay is one of the best in the business when it comes to scheming. So he's been in a nice situation. There's no doubt. Lots of Ys coming in. A lot of Ys.
If you haven't already liked the show, please do. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in right now live. Let's continue the show. We're going to rock it on. We're going to go a little bit quicker here. Adrian Colbert, he is re-signed. And for 1 year, $1.775 million. He was not tendered yesterday as an RFA. He started 17 games in his career. I mean, you're looking at the Dolphins. I think they're just trying to add a little bit of depth here at the safety position. Let's go now to the Carolina Panthers. They also had a wide receiver, Keith Kirkwood.
Yeah, played under Matt Rule at Temple back in his college days, so there's a connection there. Some teams were interested. He opted to go play in Carolina with a head coach that he is familiar with, so not a super big surprise there.
You want to take over this one since you run our Bear show?
Sure, why not? The terrible Cornelius Lucas has signed with the Washington Redskins.
Throwing haymakers.
He was not good last year, guys. Started in 8 games, wasn't very good. I think if you're reading the tea leaves here, the Redskins need tackle depth because Trent Williams ain't going to play there.
That's fair.
I mean, he's not going to be there. They're going to trade him. He doesn't want to play in Washington. So they bring at least, a guy who started at tackle in the NFL, and Cornelius Lucas.
Well, Cornelius Lucas, you might be getting some hate mail from him pretty soon. Let's go to a 49ers player because, I can't say 49ers player anymore. Mike Person released. Now he's just a normal person. So they released a starting guard, and he has started 14 games for the Niners. And this offensive line, I do think, is probably the main reason why they can run the football. I'll be interested to see what happens here with Mike Person. Let's go to Joe Looney of the Dallas Cowboys. He's been re-signed. The Cowboys have lost a lot of players, but he was a big player here that took over for Travis Frederick.
Yeah, sneaky good re-signing. He started the entire 2018 season at center for the Dallas Cowboys while Frederick was dealing with that autoimmune disease. Can play center, can play guard. So a versatile backup offensive lineman there for Dallas.
Now here's some other players that signed today. Remember, we are doing an NFL free agency tracker, so we're just trying to keep you up to date. When I saw a tweet come out that Brian Mitchell signed with the Buccaneers, my first statement honestly was, who's Bryant Mitchell? But here you go. That's what we're doing here at Chat Sports. Also, Torrey McTyer, he's here for now for the Bengals, and then Will Redmond.